G'day, welcome back to Oxygen Not Included as we continue to, I guess, move into the world of petroleum rockets. So we are still apparently an unreachable build. It's making you unreachable. It's not the gantry being extended, is it? Oh, is that just an unreachable dig? Maybe that's what that's saying. Just chuck. Guess those were there to see if that makes it reachable. Imagine that might be a little bit too high for that. I do get the sense that this our other rocket, steam rocket, is going to go at least one more time. But it's, I guess we're not really going to be using that one. Thanks for the comment on how to make liquid hydrogen. Sounds like I'm a little way off that, so it's going to be that I've got to collect a supercoolant from another planet and then use that supercoolant in order to cool hydrogen gas cold enough that it will turn into liquid. Speaking of turning into liquid, actually, how's our guy over here going? Hey, he's done. That's right, we sucked the last little bit out, didn't we, to sort of speed it along. Okay, let's mop some liquid spills there. This guy is still going. He's still got plenty of steam to melt out. He's down to grams, so he's good. It can't be long now. Bet on this guy. The other thing that we've got to start thinking about, but I do think it's worth waiting until this roof doesn't need to be here, does it? That roof seems to be sort of a double up of that roof. And I feel like if they can't reach that, then surely they're not going to be able to reach that. How do we get them to reach that? Can I build like a... Can that get to there? And you, I'll build one there too. Alright, so they made that bit reachable. I do love that someone's obviously up there digging. You're just seeing the stuff collapse down here to... So all of these ones we can start to deconstruct every second one. So that they can at least get rid of... I think that middle one's going to be a problem. Actually, this one we need to go all the way over, don't we? Okay. Makes life a little bit easier that way. Why don't you have a little picture to say you're deconstructing? There's your little picture. I mean, you make a compelling argument not to get rid of this one just yet. I will cancel those ones because that's the easy way across while they're working up here. It's a fair bit more work to go up. Good thing to see is that that's not complaining that they're unreachable. What happened here? Okay. More liquid there. More liquid here. How are you doing? So you're down to almost nothing. But we can declare you a vacuum very shortly. Is that it? That is a vacuum. We can deconstruct him, and we can enable this guy. Now we've just got to double check to make sure that I haven't disconnected anything else with this guy that's been... So now we're pumping through. And... Cool, so it's just the pump down here. Him and this guy would both split if they've got polluted water, but now we've successfully like depolluted that water enough that hopefully that's never going to be like not the same jamming problem they had before. And the other question that someone had was that they were saying that possibly, just reminded me, I think they were on a previous video, not the last one, that they thought that the liquid getting through here was varying. It's just constantly showing me 18 empty, 18 empty, 18. So even though there's that one square gap, and you can see that basically the way this works is that right, so the way that this works is that it turns off if what's it stop doing? That doesn't even, like, that's a shut off, so that dies when this has, like, when there is something that actually is acceptable, it'll kill down this way. And for whatever reason, it successfully works, but it seems like logically every second thing would just sort of kick up. But it is, you can see that the water up there is 32 degrees. The water coming out here is 18 degrees. So, for whatever reason, it's working. And let's kick that down to, you can see current temperature. It just flips between, every second one's 32, every other one's 18. Why are they constantly so inconsistent? No idea. But for whatever reason, it means that that guy is chipping away quite nicely. This guy, on the other hand, it's not. Now, again, you can see this one is a bit longer, so it might sort of... So it might make a bit more sense about why it's doing it. But it's just that this is blocked. This has to open. Does this guy have a second one? He doesn't, so I don't quite get how that one works as well. This is blocking this pipe. So anything that's too... So say the water that's sitting back in here, liquid pipe, you can see the contents of that's currently 26 degrees. Now partly it's because possibly it's been sitting out there in the heat for so long. But the idea is that when the... when this says, alright, no, that's cold enough, this guy will shut off, means that that one can open and that will go. But at the moment that happens, the one passing through is going to be less than the 28 that this currently is. We'll drop that down to 24. What was the top one? 22? 23. We'll make this guy 23 as well. And so a 23 lot of water will move along and then sit in that spot, because then this will switch red. So it seems like it shouldn't work because these guys aren't right against there, but what is right against there is the intersection that actually matters in this. And it's that intersection of separating them, that even if there was like 10 squares one way, 10 the other, it would basically be that because these would shut off instantly, the 9 guys that are in line pointing the one direction of the too hot category are already too hot. The ones that have been able to move when the too cool, like the cool enough ones are open, are already in that cool lineup. So it's Not it's working. It's just that it doesn't seem like it makes sense because they're sitting on this side of the cooler thing as opposed to that side. But don't worry. At least makes sense in my mind, I guess. Whether that mind can explain why it works, like, it's left to be questioned. All right. Apart from those, did we have anything else going on? That's right. We had a major rebuild project going on down here where we were changing the heat of this wire. So with that down, we've currently killed this guy, killed that guy, and we've got this one guy going. But the problem is that it means that we're not even pumping oil at the moment, and I imagine that that's going to come back to bite us because this is completely empty. So need to get a move on down here of doing all this, and this is a lot. Does need doing. How or not? So good luck to you fellas. Otherwise we're going to start having power issues. Oh cool, did they add a button there that allows me to just jump to the new blueprint thing when it's active? Neat little ad. Okay. So what we have here is this is now going, but what we also have is that this guy is now running in a loop, which we don't want. You can see when they hit here, they're actually going both ways. This guy's actually heading the correct way. He's just going straight up. So what we want to do is we want to grab that radiant pipe and say deconstruct. And if we're lucky, there'll be nothing in it when that deconstruct happens. 9, let's get someone just to get rid of it straight away. Unlucky. Okay, so let's get a mop. Get a mop. 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 Now soiled this perfectly fine water. Hopefully that's the end of the mess. You can see that now what's happening is that this part here is just not being used. So we can say deconstruct liquid pipes from there to there. Unfortunately, these two things that we've built will not allow us to reach those unbuilt builds. So I'm just going to give up. Finally, we'll just say cancel on those. And we'll say deconstruct. This is just awful. It looks like Travolta's just been sort of like Howard Hughes in this room. And we can see that at least some of the plants up here are finally back in the land of the living, which is a nice change. So curious to see how we go now that we've got 2 of these running. I always found it interesting that this one here and him being over here seems to pull constantly hotter water than the other guy does. So I don't think that I think that similarly they are going to continue to really only get water from the one pump. And we have made that request for the temperature of the water drop. But hopefully that just means that even if this guy's doing nothing else, what he's doing is he's reducing the overall temperature of the water in this area. He's pumping into... Let's make sense of this. He's this one. He's pumping out and up and into this one here. So I suppose it's a bit of a problem that what he's doing is at least this guy here. Sorry, I killed my plumbing picture there. This guy here, he's dropping over this side, so he's sort of dropping his colder water into this colder area, whereas he's just plummeting it into the main part of the water, where it's still 51 degrees. But hopefully the what's the temperature of the water down here? 56. I mean, possibly what we could even consider doing is taking the this water that then goes through here, take this and tell this to just up one there and go through this, so that this water just immediately... I mean, that makes so much more sense, doesn't it? That already got that pump operating. We may as well allow it to audit it. Yeah, okay, let's do that. So let's go. Steps in this would be, there's a filter, but the filter doesn't matter on this other guy. We'll disable him for now. Tell that guy to disable. Just wait for the water to sort of stop pumping through him. Won't ditch any water out anywhere. Then what we'll do is we'll identify that liquid pipe right there and ask him to get deconstructed. Maybe we'll put that as a bit more of a priority. I'm going to lose my mind if that is not going right now. Thank you, Catalina. Okay, so then what we can do is grab insulated pipe, and we'll put that there. Oh, we don't even have to make a new one. Perfect. Then what we can do is, well, we can probably get rid of that piece of pipe there if we good news is if that drops water, it's like welcome to the club. It's the most commonly dropped water place in our base. Alright, I realize that that's asking for a, what if I say cancel to that? It'll just stay there, right? It's just a 3-piece, it's just now, yeah. I'm losing my mind. Ah, Catalina to the rescue again. Got a chance for this episode to be named after you, Catalina. Okay, so you don't look too happy about the situation you've put yourself in now, but okay, so this water's now not pushing. I assume that it'll still move even though it's sort of heading up and there's nothing under it. You can see that this already disconnected tubing was using the other part of this. So I'm going to leave that cabling there, otherwise it's just that we'll have these two disconnected and see how this goes. And he's losing power at the moment, and I bet I know what's causing that. Is a crazy little thing we call a lack of our very important power down here. You can see that our forever hero Stinky is down there doing as much work as he can. And you can see that this pump is working. So I think what is there just other cabling down there? How have we got that working? Oh, it's lost power too. So possibly we've now got ourselves in a circular issue where the electricity won't work. Oh, there you go. You can see that there's already the underlying electricity there that he can work off. That we've got power problems because we don't have our oil going. Where are you guys going? So there's no oil up there. But the pumping is working, that we do have some getting up there now. Alright, I think that's a real logical move there. The thing about this one is that it now means that it seems very unlikely that this guy is ever going to actually pump water that... I suppose that's the question mark here, right? The problem with this is that we would expect that he is never going to pump water that can be accepted. Whereas at the top, from this tank, it's possible that eventually it could be. Like, if he does enough work, it eventually will be cool enough. We also have the current problem of no power. But that oil is... Oh, that oil's made it up there. Yeah, you can see this, they're just sort of chipping along into those power than is now. And the more power we get to that, the more consistently this guy's going to be running. Our sort of circle of life continues. So that is a good question. The issue is this guy is going to always be too hot. Pass any liquid through there. Whereas this guy from the top isn't. It's very likely he won't ever, but I think I've got to go back. So let's go. Deconstruct that liquid pipe. Yeah, I think that this makes sense to skip it. Because I think that, yeah, if we can see that we do still run on a very low amount of water. And this is almost like conceding something that we probably don't have to concede. Yeah, and we've just sort of dumped more water down here. I mean, this guy's... He's just a cool water one, right? Or is he a hot water one? He's a hot water one. Yeah. I do love that really vague little trickle that you can see from that. Like, not like there's like drops going, but like this sort of misty waterfall. This guy here is starting to fill up, I think, more. Nice. We are taking a fair bit of water from him, although we're not pumping too much at the moment while those guys were offline. It must have been that there was one or two squares that had burnt out, and instead of addressing those two, I'd instead like I said, rebuild everything, so they were just taking their sweet time and getting to the ones that they actually just had to do to address it all. I mean, I'm definitely glad we've got almost a renewable resource of petroleum now, because we've got renewable supply of water going down to like making a renewable supply of petroleum, going up to these three guys. Once we get back in the rhythm of where they were, having a renewable supply of those. I'd almost be tempted to chuck like a subway station or two up here to allow guys to port down to these, to sort of speed up the process of getting in there. I mean, what I could almost do is set up like an individual atmosuit dock here. Here. The entrance there. And then on the outside of it, you'd have to have an oxygen-filled room to pass through for that. That seems more complicated than this needs to be. I feel that fancy is a big part of this. These guys are still just... they're glum. We can't pick you up or anything, guys. We gotta... just kill you in combat. Gossman just really woke up in the morning. There's Catalina. Alright. This is starting to look a lot better. A few more guys in that second one. Until we reach a point where I think we've got every single one of those full of an egg. Still in a building process. Well, I can see that that's prints available. Is that what this is now telling me? No, that's saying no new blueprints to unlock, so that must be related to something totally different. Alright. Plus 17 strength. Jacked, my friend. Make sure that everyone's in a snazzy suit. Oh, Gossman. What a day you're having. Let's check. Oh, of course, we've got to enable that guy again. You're overheating. What are you even being used for? I don't even remember. Oh, that's right. You're the thing. Let's deconstruct him. And we'll rebuild him with gold. I think he's still worth having. That one's made out of gold. Although, from watching this over this side, I am getting a sense of how much steam, like, converts to when it's in liquid form. Alright, we now got this guy pumping. And we are back to not accepting any liquid as that now is up to 29 degrees stuck in that pipe. And potentially that makes a good argument that since it doesn't really cost me anything, we should make all of this insulated. I mean, beyond that one point it doesn't much matter, but if having that insulated means that that water stays slightly cooler as it goes up there when the objective is that we're trying to make cooler water, so let's do that. We're also looking for this guy and this guy. So he's hit his 500 amount. There's currently nothing pushing through. That's entombed because we have dug all the way out. Alright, let's dig those. Let's dig those, and we will copy that. Alright, we only need 2 to cover him. Guess it's sort of weird at the end there, but we'll just add one of those. No. Add one of those. And we can say deconstruct 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cancel those ones because I've now broken my rhythm. This one's we can say get rid of that one, that one, that one, that one. Those 4. Gonna have to pick a new, have you just been sitting in there this whole time? Maybe you can come out and just sort of enjoy your life for a little bit. Now we've made Ashcan the second one, but I can see Ashcan's wearing a hat. So that says to me that Ashcan already had an existing role of some kind. You're one of our critter ranchers. Really, we should be giving it to someone who's otherwise not doing something. So I don't think I can afford you getting there. Yes, I can. All right, congratulations, Ari. You are going to be our new. Let's make sure you're similar to me. Yep. Do we have a, like... Yeah. Should Meep get one of those too? Meep, you can have one as well. And maybe you get the petroleum rocket as senior. That's entombed. The senior astronaut. And hopefully the helmet reminds me that Ari's the other guy that we're intending on doing that with. Looking good, Ari. Keep tripping. I'm gonna keep mopping. 81. So he's slowly starting to build up. Imagine that part of that water too is that have we started the rebuild process on this plumbing? Done it all? Nice work. Have they? Or was it already the case? Because I'm now not sure if it was already insulated. Maybe it's insulated and it's just been like that for so long that it's gotten hot. Went through that exercise for nothing. Well, we're really at the mercy of rocket building. So, let's get up to our petroleum rocket. So if we look at this guy, we've got our research modules. So assumably, again, that's what we want. Now, I don't know how many research modules we're allowed to have a guy like this. But I imagine that we also want to have a liquid fuel tank. It was liquid fuel piped. There's a lot of stuff dripping through there. So this guy doesn't have anything like that. Obviously he doesn't have liquid fuel. Stores oxalate and other oxidizers for burning rocket fuel. Stores liquid pipe filled. So I wonder if I have to build more than one of those to get this guy to travel further. We will deconstruct the inside guys of those. Continue to construct those. We'll go to automation. Straight across with those, and we will also just do a request to clean up. $2,000 steel at the moment, so we should be right. He's at 500, so we can go another 400 for him to here. At 400 set. And with that as well, I think that what we can do is we can reset the amount. Actually, I didn't even need that valve, did I? Because... Let's say, why is nothing happening? Because I just disabled this guy, didn't I? That's now pushing through at an absolute standard speed. But as this guy takes steam out, we're adding steam in there with that guy going... Oh, I love it. Watching him go, like, essentially instantly go from 50 degrees to 150. At least 100. So gain the middle ground and shoot off. Just quick admire of that. Yep, that's all the way back to where it was. Thank you, Stinky, and the others that worked on that one. Keeps the water down that way. Good. I mean, potentially, if I was getting good yield from my steam turbines, what I could do is I could take, say, in here, like say beside this guy, I could build a second one of these, and this is just passing through an aqua tuner as it moves up, so that all of theirs is getting cooled as well. Now the thing is though that pipe's not moving that fast, and the reason for that is because I've put the its vent pretty low up here, just so that it will stop, because we don't want this to just sort of keep going up and flooding. It's meant to be that if this is overpressurized, they're only going to get so much in there. Alright, so that brings us to pretty much the end of this one. We've got another ceiling collapse, which is probably going to be... Oh, Ellie. I'm saying to do that part, but these digs are absolutely urgent. Yeah, that's Storm's still early. I guess the big question on this one is, what's the size of the rocket? Like, could I justifiably dig deeper here for the size of this guy's allowed to be, or could I build up and sort of have him still in range? And what sort of breakup of things should I have? Should I have more liquid fuel tanks? More room for research modules? If you know my layouts, absolutely let me know. Apart from that, any other questions or comments, feel free to chuck them below. And until next time, catch you later. See ya.